When the Miami Dolphins selected Max Llewellyn out of Iowa, did they add a relentless pass rusher to their edge room? We're going to discuss that. And is he just a one trick pony, or does he bring an advanced pass rush plan and move set beyond his famous spin move? We're going to break down the all 22 and much more. So do me the favor, smash that like button, subscribe if you are new, and as always, let's go ahead and get into this. Aside from the safety room, a big area of need for the Miami Dolphins is that pass rusher, especially in terms of depth behind former first-round pick Chop Robinson. And the new regime in Miami took a swing on a great value add to the edge room when John Eric Sullivan selected Max Llewellyn out of Iowa with the 238th pick in the 2026 draft. To be honest, I was shocked that Llewellyn was still available, as many draft analysts saw him as a fourth to a fifth round prospect, with myself grading him out as a fifth rounder. A 23-year-old Llewellyn had over 1,000 snaps in his 4 years at Iowa, but his pass rush production is clearly what is most intriguing about him, as over the last 2 seasons alone, Llewellyn racked up 80 pressures, 12 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 17 and a half tackles for a loss. He's 6'5", 5'8", 258 pounds with 32 and a half inch arms, a 78 and 5'8" inch wingspan, and is a relatively good, not great athlete, as seen by his combine testing, where he had a 32 and a half inch vertical, a 9'7" inch broad jump, a 4.81 40-yard dash, a 4.48 shuttle, and actually Llewellyn's best testing number was his 1.64 10-yard split, which highlights good initial explosion and get-off speed. Now, Llewellyn's go-to is his spin move, but he's far from a one-trick pass rusher. He also incorporates a long arm, cross chop, swipe, rip, dips, swim, club swim, and speed rushes into his arsenal. While he doesn't possess elite athletic traits, Llewellyn compensates with a highly developed pass rush plan, relying on technique and his football IQ to consistently create pressure. I'm also not shocked that his 10-yard split was his best measurement testing at the combine, as the explosive first step, it's all over the tape. Llewellyn also has heavy active hands, and his motor is one of the most relentless in this year's edge class, as he pursues quarterbacks like it's his favorite pastime, gives maximum effort in backside pursuits, hunts down ball carriers on screens. He's constantly involved in gang tackles and consistently plays through the whistle, so much so that he won Iowa's Defensive Hustle Award in 2025. An underrated part of Llewellyn's game is what he does when he doesn't reach the quarterback. He consistently gets his hands into passing lanes, helping him rack up 10 passes defended. His versatility is another strength, with experience rushing from both 2 and 3 point stances, lines up as a 5-tech, wide 9, and even kicking inside on passing downs or in short yardage situations. He also made significant contributions on special teams at Iowa, which we all know is paramount for day 3 and UDFAs if they want to have a shot at cracking the 53-man roster out of training camp. When it comes to the area of Max Llewellyn's game that needs the most improvement, it clearly starts with his inconsistency as a run defender, which is why there's legitimate questions around whether he can be relied on as a 3-down defender in the NFL. As far as his other areas of concern, his play strength needs to increase so he can anchor better against more powerful rushers, as he can lose quickly at the point of attack due to this sometimes. Another reason he has an issue with leverage is because his pad level is inconsistent as well. As a tackler, Llewellyn needs to finish much better. He's finished 2 of the last 3 seasons with missed tackle rates above 30%, and I think he leaves a lot to desire bend-wise. He only has 1 season as a full-time starter too, which means he has quite the lack of experience for being an older prospect. Now, where does Max Llewellyn fit in with the Miami Dolphins defense moving forward as a rookie? For one thing, as I mentioned earlier, he's going to have to contribute as a special teamer. And secondly, he's going to have to earn the trust of the coaching staff that he can be dependent on as more than a rotational edge rusher and designed pass rush specialist. Aside from Chop Robinson, there's not much long-term edge competition for Max Llewellyn to go up against. I mean, just savvy veterans like Josh Uche and David Ajabo. So the harder Llewellyn works on perfecting his craft and setting the edge, the more likely it is he can break through. And you got to believe it. But I love what you see when you put on the film, when you watch the guy, just so much pass rush upside in his game. So let's go ahead and let's jump into the film. All right. And let's see exactly what he brings to Jeff Hafley's defense. All right. You know, as I mentioned earlier, Llewellyn isn't a one-trick pony. He has a deep pass rush arsenal using dips, rips, euro steps. He possesses a powerful long arm that's often his, second go-to move behind his signature spin move. You saw that long arm move produce a sack against UMass's right tackle in the prospect profile we just did. And if he can learn to consistently set the edge, he'll become an even more intriguing developmental prospect. The fact that he already enters the league with a diverse collection of pass rush moves and an advanced pass rush plan gives him plenty of upside. And with more reps, there's even more reason to believe he can refine his game even further, which I'll tell you, that's quite exciting. So let's go back to this play against Nebraska in 2024. And you got Max Llewellyn lined up in a 2-point stance in a wide 9 alignment. And watch this. He's just going to attack the tackle's outside shoulder. He's going to show some bend here. He's going to get low with a dip, and he's going to rip right through the block. And listen, watch it. He's free. He comes from behind, and boom, Dylan Raiola forces the fumble, and it's recovered by Llewellyn. I love it. Look at that. Just dip, rip, boom. What a great effort, good balance, and a nice show of explosiveness with some bend, which, like I said, he isn't really known for, right? So here we are during Iowa's 2025 matchup against phenomenal quarterback prospect Drake Lindsey in Minnesota. Llewellyn is lined up in a 2-point stance in a wide 9 alignment once more. And he's just going to have great burst out of his stance. And he's going to win so quickly and smoothly with a quick cross chop and swipe to easily displace right there the tackle's hands out of his way. I love it. So watch again. Llewellyn, if you watch here, he's going to arc around that edge after he's going to win after the swipe, cross chop and swipe. And it's going to be a strip sack that a Minnesota lineman is going to have to recover. Again, watch this right here. Cross chop right there and swipe. And then Lindsey tries to escape. Ball is out. Lineman has to recover. When you go through the tape, it's evident all over it that Max Llewellyn is far from a one-trick spin pony. Speaking of the spin move, the spin doctor is in and will now see you. There's no doubt Llewellyn's number one move is his spin move because it's nasty and effective, especially when he chains it with a Euro step. It can downright make blockers look silly and open up a path for him to the QB almost instantly. So this play against Penn State is so fantastic at highlighting its effectiveness and just how elite Llewellyn's spin move really is. Watch this. So it's just incredible how in the blink of an eye, he can beat you with that spin move and just leave you in no man's land. So again, Llewellyn here, wide 9 alignment in that 2-point stance. He's going to chain a Euro step and watch this. You really respect it from this angle, right? You watch this. He's going to take the outside step. Then he's going to have the inside step, and then he's going to follow that up. Instead of taking the full step back outside and arcing around the edge, he's going to hit the spin move towards the outside and leave the tackle flat on his butt, contemplating life after football. Look at that. Boom! And then he shows the motor off after the spin by pursuing until the ball is thrown away. I mean, listen, this is a spin move that breaks tackles' ankles and breaks down plays for offenses. And it can be impactful without getting a sack. But let's show how his spin move can result in a sack anyways, all right? In fact, this play here against Vanderbilt in the 2025 ReliaQuest Bowl resulted in a sack for Llewellyn and an intentional grounding on Diego Pavea. So watch this. Llewellyn here, he's going to be in a 3-point stance with hand in the dirt. He's more of a 5 tech in this 4-man defensive front alignment. So he's once again going to beautifully chain the Euro step into the outside spin move and win. He's going to win so cleanly that it doesn't even look like the tackle touches him until the end there, right before he gets him. But look, he smacks him. So, I mean, again, you watch how he wins with this, and Pavea is like dead to rights, and Llewellyn's going to arrive to lay it to smack it down. It's on Pavea, and he took a big hit, intentional grounding. It's a sack for Llewellyn, and I just can't wait to see how effective and reliable this move will be at the next level against better, stronger athletes with more refined technique, because it's fun to watch Max Llewellyn put tackles on the spin cycle like they're laundry. I'll tell you that much. It really is. So Llewellyn's motor, it runs on high octane. If there's a play to be made, he's almost always trying to put himself within striking distance to be the one that makes it. So let's go back to 2025 against UMass. Max Llewellyn lined up in a 2-point stance in a wide 9 alignment. And Llewellyn is actually going to start outside and then use his spin move to get through the B gap real quickly. And he's going to flush the quarterback from the pocket. And watch this. He's going to fight through a little bit of a hold at the end there, come through. And he's actually going to force him out in that. I mean, there you go. That actually counts as a sack. It's actually recorded as a sack. But again, look at spin move inside, fights through a little bit of a hold, keeps it going. Great effort and competitiveness to not only give up once he got clean through the middle, but he had to run back towards the other sideline and finish the playoff, and he didn't take it off. So again, let's go back to this past December 31st where Iowa was against Vanderbilt in the 2025 ReliaQuest Bowl. Watch the effort and finish here by Max Llewellyn. He's going to be lined up as a 7-tech here in a 2-point stance, right? He's in between the tackle and the tight end here. And again, watch this run. It's going to be to the right side, and watch the effort, okay? I want you to count along with me the defenders he's going to have to play through here, all right? Watch this. 1, 2, 3, boom, and then Suplex City. I mean, look at this. Llewellyn has to go through multiple defenders and then finally gets his hands on the ball carrier near the sideline and just owns them. I mean, listen, I'm going to tell you this. These are the types of plays that get you hyped and give you hope at what Llewellyn could be if he manages to become even just a reliable run defender. All right? Just reliable, not asking for great. Just asking for reliable, and boy, oh boy, color me intrigued. So, listen, Max Llewellyn may never develop into an every down defensive end, but the pass rush toolbox, relentless motor, football IQ, and special teams value give him a legitimate path to making this roster and carving out a role potentially. If he can improve his play strength, become more reliable against the run, and clean up his tackling, the Dolphins may have landed one of the better value picks in the later rounds of the draft. For a team that desperately needs more depth behind Chop Robinson, as we mentioned so many times, Llewellyn brings traits that simply can't be taught: effort, instincts, and a refined pass rush plan. Those qualities alone should give him every opportunity to compete for meaningful snaps as a rookie. And listen, do me the favor, go check out the sponsor of this video. And that sponsor, of course, is PrizePicks. And PrizePicks, of course, they are America's #1 sports pick app. No matter what sport you're watching, no better way to make the action more exciting than with PrizePicks, where it always feels good to be right. PrizePicks is daily fantasy made simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players' projections to build lineups in a few taps, whether it's the World Cup final, football when it returns, baseball, whatever sport you're into. PrizePicks gives you a fun way to stay locked in on every play while you're watching. To get you started, they're hooking you up with $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup when you use code HMA. Messi, Lamine Yamal, assists galore, goals galore. Is it going to be as wild as France and England? Man, it's going to be wild if you stay locked in on the game with PrizePicks. So download the PrizePicks app today. Use code HMA to get $50 in lineups to play your first $5 lineup. code HMA to get $50 in line set to play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Link is in the description below. Again, shout out to Prize Picks. And shout out to all of you. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you are new. It goes a long way on these type of videos, and it takes 2 seconds of your time. If you want to be notified whenever we go live or drop videos like this, make sure you hit that notification bell so you are aware whenever we upload or do go live. Shout out to all of you again. I appreciate y'all. And I will catch each and every one of you on the next one. Let me know down below, what are your expectations for Max Llewellyn through training camp and preseason? Do you expect him to make the 53? Let me know. Catch you on the next one. Fins up all day, every day.